we just, for right now, can really work on this internal peace that we already have within inside ourselves. We just have to retrain our brain to find it, and we also have to listen to things and read things and do things that build our soul up rather than deplete us. Because I know for myself, I can feel very depleted after listening to the news. Is it recording on the other one there? Yeah. So the Bhramari Pranayama breathing, and I think I'm saying that right, is a breathing technique that really gets us to feel within inside ourselves. And so we want to sit comfortably, and we want to bring our hands actually up to our ears. We can plug our ears with any finger that feels comfortable. Maybe it feels comfortable to put your other hands on your face. It's whatever feels right for you. And in the YouTube video, I'm 7 months pregnant, so I'll be adapting things throughout the practice. So I invite yourself to just adapt and modify anything that feels comfortable. But we're going to do a breathing technique to start our class that really gets us to just feel within inside ourselves and to shut the world out. Actually, that's kind of the meaning of it, is to shut the world out. So let's plug our ears, and actually don't plug your ears quite yet. So we breathe in through our nose, and then when we breathe out through our nose, through our mouth, we're gonna do a buzzing sound. So it's breathe in through our nose as long as we can, and then when we exhale, we go bzzz. So it gets our heart vibrations moving, and when we do it, we're gonna plug our ears so the distractions of the world, the distractions of our surroundings actually get blocked out. So we can just feel from within, we can hear from within, and we'll breathe as long as we can. Do about 11 to 20, it says. So whatever feels right for you, take our time, and when it feels right, let's put our fingers in our ears, and we breathe in through our nose, and we make the buzzing sound as we exhale. So the goal of that breathing technique, like I said, is to pull ourselves within, to calm ourselves down, to just feel the actual insides of us, and to start to retrain that brain. So I invite us to use that throughout our next few days if we need to, or whatever it is, whatever feels right. But I know right now, for me, I've just been trying to say mantras and breathing and just really trying to retrain my brain and from all this negativity that's going on to just finding my own peace inside, because it's already here. We have the ability to dig within ourselves, and it's these yoga techniques that really can retrain our brain, retrain our heart, and just set us to looking within instead of looking without. So we'll just start our practice. We can lay down if that feels right. We can sit up, and we'll just start our big pranayama breathing. Breathing in through our nose as deep as we can. Try to do it about 4 seconds or longer if we can, and then exhaling even longer. So we slow ourselves down. We start to just feel that stuff within, and we start to let go of the stress and tension that's created in our bodies. When our mind can't slow down, and our mind is negative, and our feelings are negative and stuff, we try not to judge them. We just let them be, and then we come back to that inner peace. Like I said last weekend, none of us have ever gone through an event like this, so we don't know how to deal with this stress. We don't know how to, we just don't know how to do it. And so that's what yoga can help us do, is to help us work through all these feelings of fear and unknown. So we'll just continue to breathe in through our nose, past our heart centers, and breathe out through our nose. If we're at home and need to modify anything, we can use a chair. If we do our yoga practice maybe outside, we can bring whatever we need to outside. If we do our yoga practice wherever we are, we can use chairs, we can use whatever we're going to use to make ourselves feel more comfortable. And let's set our intention for today. In yoga, we like to set an intention just for ourselves on our mat. Maybe that intention, we came today to find peace within our hearts, or to reconnect ourselves, our body and our mind, reconnect. Or maybe for strength and flexibility or exercise, whatever we're here for today. Let's breathe that in through our nose, right to our heart center. And then on the next breath, in through our nose, into all the cells of our body. as we move through our practice, we try and let go of judgments of ourselves and competition and expectations. We just take care of ourselves right here today. So let's take a few more big pranayama breaths. In through our nose and out through our nose. We're going to do some moves this morning to help balance our vagus nerve. So let's just make our way to laying on our mat with our knees pointed up to our ceilings and our feet grounded onto our mats. And we'll just feel our breath here, breathing in through our nose and out through our nose. And when it feels right for us, we're just going to lift our hips up, slowly rising them up, and then exhale, rounding down, rounding that bottom of our vagus nerve, and inhale, rounding our hips back up into bridge. We go at our own pace, doing what feels right for ourselves. We continue to breathe big breaths. And when it feels right, we'll return our hips to our mats. And we're just going to drop our knees from side to side. This is called windshield wiper. As we bring our knees back to the center, we inhale. And as we exhale, we drop our knees to the side. If it feels right, we can drop our heads to the opposite side of our knees. And when our mind starts to wander, we just become aware of it. And without judgment, we just bring it back to our breath. Allowing ourselves to soften, allowing the stress and tension to just leave our bodies. as long of breaths as we can. Inhale through our nose and exhale even longer. And when it feels right for us, we're just going to extend our feet straight from our legs, reaching our hands right over our heads and giving ourselves a great big good morning stretch. So we stretch our hands away from our feet, feeling our whole body from our fingers to our toes, breathing deep. Allowing the stress and tension to just leave. And when it feels right, we're going to pull our hands and knees together so our knees come up towards our chest. We can either exhale by bringing our feet down to our mats, bending our knees, and bringing our hands and knees back together as we inhale, or else we exhale, reaching our feet straight from our bodies, engaging our core, balancing our vagus nerve. We inhale as big of breaths as we can, and then we exhale, bringing it all back together. And we just feel and notice our bodies. And when it feels right for us, let's bring our knees back to pointing up towards the ceiling, bringing our feet grounded on our mat. Our hands can just be by our sides. And then we're going to drop our knees out to the edges of our mats. We can place our hands right on our belly buttons if that feels right. And we're just going to continue to breathe deep, allowing our knees to just soften more and more towards our mats, allowing our belly buttons to rise and fall. And when it feels right, let's roll to our right side, bringing our knees together, bringing them to the side of our mat. We'll place our right arm right underneath our head, allowing our left arm to just go where it wants to go. And let's just feel and notice our right side, trying to stay with our breath, trying to retrain our brains to finding this inner peace that we already all have. And we're just going to pick our upper bodies just gently up, placing our hands one on top of each other, and then resting our frontal lobe right on our hands. Our knees are still together and pointed to the right side. And as we continue to breathe deep, we just soften ourselves, exhaling deeply, softening ourselves to our mats. And we'll just push our knees right underneath our bodies, coming to child's pose, bringing our hips right down to our heels. If it doesn't feel right to rest our frontal lobe on our mats, we can stack our hands and rest our frontal lobe. We continue to breathe in deep, inhaling as big of long of breaths as we can, and exhaling, softening and letting go of the stress and tension in our bodies. And let's just roll ourselves to the opposite side, the side that we haven't been on yet. We bring our knees together, bringing our knees to the edge of our mat, resting our head right in our hands, and breathing as deep as we can, slowing ourselves down. And we'll just gently pick our upper bodies up, placing our hands again together, and just resting our frontal lobe right onto our hands. This position is really good at just reconnecting with our whole self. So we continue to breathe in as deep as we can, exhaling by just feeling ourselves, letting go just a little bit more. ground our forearms. That means we're just going to make contact with our forearms to our mats. We're going to ground our knees to our mats. We're going to curl our toes under, pushing our hips up into dolphin. And if that doesn't feel right, we can always keep our knees grounded and down, just rounding our backs. We want to just release our heads. Let's drop our knees back down to our mats, pulling our hips back towards puppy, finding our breath here, and then with our own breath work, our own asana, we move back into dolphin. And then we'll lower ourselves back to puppy. If we can't push ourselves into dolphin, we just move ourselves forward, rounding our back, and then reaching back to puppy. We breathe as deep and long as we can. And when it feels right, let's push ourselves up to downward dog. Feeling our feet, pulling our heels down towards our mat. Breathing as deep as we can. And softening and letting go as we exhale. Let's bring ourselves into plank, holding ourselves nice and strong, either up on our toes, or we can bring our knees down to our mats, holding our arms strong and breathing deep. And let's move back to downward dog. We can either go from downward dog to upward dog with our own breath work, or we can keep to plank. It's whatever feels right for us. So we go from downward dog, feeling our bodies, feeling our breath, moving into either plank or upward dog, and then back to downward dog. We inhale big long breaths, and when our mind starts to wander, we just bring it back. to breathing deep.
And now delivery is free through DoorDash, Grubhub, Postmates, or Uber Eats.
And we'll end by coming into downward dog, feeling our feet, and then stepping our right hand, or our right foot up to our right hand. Our left foot follows. We're just going to release our heads and forward fold, breathing deep and just softening and letting go. Letting our head just fall and hang, feeling our feet grounded. And let's slowly straighten up by rounding our backs, stacking our vertebrae, taking our time. And once we're standing tall, let's just widen our toes. Let's become aware of our bodies from the top of our heads down all the way to our feet. Maybe even sending ourselves some positive thoughts of how grateful we are to be on our mats this morning. And let's reach up with our hands as we inhale, feeling the air around our hands. Let's bring our hands together, stretching our fingers right up towards the ceiling, allowing our sides to open, our bellies to continue to breathe deep. And we soften and let go as we exhale. And it feels right. Let's bring our thumbs right to our heart centers. And I invite us to honestly feel ourselves. Do we feel more connected with ourselves, more at peace, more alive than we did before coming to our mats? Let's start our sun salutation. So it's a series of 12 poses. We continue to breathe deep, inhaling fresh, clean energy, and exhaling by softening and letting go. to reach our hands straight above us. We release our hands and just arch back into waterfall. We start to open our hearts, feeling alive, feeling our whole bodies. And let's reach our hands right back up towards the ceiling. And we're going to softly swan dive down to our mats in forward fold. Let's step back with our right foot. We can either bring our right knee down to our mats, holding here, or we stay into whatever lunge feels comfortable. Once we're in our lunge, we're going to reach out with our right hand, up and over. And let's bring our hands to our mats, continuing to breathe deep, bringing our left foot back into plank, dropping our knees if we need to. And we're going to lower ourselves to crocodile. We straighten our arms, reaching our heads up to upward dog. And let's pull our heels up to downward dog, feeling our feet, grounding them, grounding our hands, and breathing new life energy to all of ourselves. And let's step forward with our right foot, feeling our lunge, dropping our knee if we need to, reaching out with our left hand, up and over, opening our heart centers, softening with strength. And we'll bring our hands to our mats. And we'll step forward with our left foot, releasing in forward fold, and just allowing our heads to pull down towards our mat. We're going to slowly stand tall, rounding our spine up, stacking our vertebrae, reaching our hands right over our heads. And then we arch back into waterfall. Let's reach our hands straight back up, placing our hands together and bringing our thumbs back to our heart centers. We're going to do the same thing on the left side, and we'll go a little bit faster. So as we're slowing ourselves down and finding our breath, let's continue to breathe new, fresh life energy, positive thinking inside our bodies. And let's reach our hands right back up. We're going to exhale back into waterfall. As you reach back up with our hands, let's softly swan dive down to our mats. And we'll step back with our left foot, feeling our lunge, reaching out with our left hand, up and over. Let's bring our hands to our mats, stepping back with our right foot, holding in plank. We're going to lower to crocodile. We'll straighten our arms, reaching our heads up to upward dog. Pull our hips up to downward dog. We'll step forward with our left foot, reaching out with our right hand, up and over. We're going to bring our hands to our mats, stepping forward with our right foot, releasing in forward fold. And reach up with our hands, bring them over our heads, straightening up, then arching back to waterfall. Reach our hands back up. Let's place them together. And we're going to bring our thumbs right to our heart center. We're going to chant the mantra, or I invite us to chant the mantra 3 times in our head. And the mantra is just OM. So I invite us to do it 3 times on our own, feeling that aliveness, letting ourselves go, doing this without judgment of ourselves. Let's just bring our hands right down by our sides. Let's bring our shoulder blades back and down, arching our chests out. allowing our heart centers to just open. And we're going to start our challenging part of our practice today in tree pose. So if we feel like we need to rest or balance on something, we can use a chair, we can use a wall, or else we just do what our bodies can do. So let's start by grounding our left foot. That means we just put our weight on that part of our body onto our mat. We're going to reach our right foot, either bringing our heel from our right foot onto our left ankle, keeping our right toes down, or else we bring it up to our calf, or else we bring it up to the inner part of our thigh. We reach our hands straight up over our heads, continuing to breathe deep. This is where we start to discipline our minds to work through the uncomfortableness, work through the balance, work through our own strength. We continue to allow the stress and tension to relieve from our bodies. We're going to hinge at our hips, continuing to have our hands right over our heads. We're going to release our right foot either straight back behind us, or else we bring our right toes down to our mats. We hold. Let's release our hands, bringing our fingers, so our fingers are reaching straight back from our right foot. This is warrior 3. And let's bring our hands to our mats. We can either bring our right toes again down to our mats, bringing our weight onto our left foot, reaching up into balancing half moon. So we just feel our bodies, feel the pull of our right foot. Let's bring our right foot back behind us. So this is triangle. So we're going to keep our toes so they're all pointing the same direction. Our weight is equally on both feet. We're going to ground our left hand, reaching up with our right, breathing deep. When it feels right for us, let's bring our right hand to our mat. We're going to reach up with our left hand. If our hand can't reach the mat, because I'm 7 months pregnant, my belly's getting big, we can just place it on our leg, reaching our left hand up towards the ceiling. But if we can, and keep our right hand down at our mat, that's what we want to try to do. And let's bring both hands to our mat. We're going to step our right foot farther back behind, coming into a warrior lunge. And let's reach our hands up towards the ceiling, continuing to breathe deep, letting our judgments go, letting our competition and expectations go. Just breathe deep. And we're going to pivot our back foot, reaching our hands away from each other. We try and just look with vigilance right over our left hand. And let's straighten our left leg, sliding our left hand down our left leg, reaching our right hand up and feeling that stretch in our right side. And let's just straighten both legs. We're going to come back to the middle. We can either walk our feet together or we can jump our feet together. So we're going to do the same thing on the right side. Good job, you guys. This is where we discipline ourselves. We continue to breathe deep. We feel the strength that we have inside our bodies. So we bring our left foot up where it wants to go. We reach our hands up towards the ceiling. We can keep our left foot down if that feels better for us. Do what feels right for us. We're going to hinge at our hips coming into airplane. Reaching our left foot back behind us, either keeping our toes down on our mat, or else we can extend our foot straight back behind us. We're going to release our hands to warrior 3, reaching our fingers right back from our heel, breathing deep. Let's bring our hands to our mats, continuing to either hold our left foot back behind us when we reach our left hand up. Else we can bring our toes down to our mat. This is balancing half moon. Let's bring our left foot back down to our mats. Both toes are going to be pointed in the same direction. We ground our feet, we feel them. And then let's do a spinal twist, reaching up with our left hand, grounding our right, breathing deep, breathing fresh energy to all of our cells, and exhaling with strength and softness. When it feels right for us, we're going to bring our left hand back down, grounding it and reaching up with our right. And we'll bring both hands back to our mats for support, stepping farther back with our left foot, coming into a warrior lunge, reaching up with our hands. When it feels right, we'll pivot our back foot, reaching our hands away, breathing deep, continuing to discipline our mind to staying with our breath, staying with our movement. And let's straighten our right leg. We're going to slide our right hand down our right leg, reaching up with our left. Continuing to open our heart centers. When it feels right, let's come back to the middle, straightening both legs, walking our feet together, or else jumping together. We'll reach up with our hands, inhaling a big breath, and let's exhale by mentally picturing a color of energy all around our bodies. We're just going to make our way to sitting back on our mats. As we come into our cool down part of our practice. So let's just bring our feet together into butterfly. And let's just arch our backs over, rounding down, breathing and slowing ourselves down. Maybe even feeling the heat that we created in our bodies. And when it feels right, let's just lower ourselves to bringing our knees pointed up towards the ceiling and rounding our spine down, laying on our mats. We can just allow our arms to come down by our sides. We'll reach our feet up towards the ceiling. This is legs up the wall. If that feels comfortable there, then we stay there. If we can, we reach our feet even higher up towards the ceiling by lifting our hips off of our mats, placing our hands on the small of our backs, continuing to breathe deep.
The Home Depot is here to help. We have many ways to help. You can download our app or go online to find the essential products and information you need quickly. You can order what you need online, and we can have it waiting for you at the store. Or we can even deliver over 1 million items free. We have thousands of how-to videos for the projects and repairs you
And we'll just lower our legs
to help
back to our mats.
viewers get more done. Geico is the insurance industry leading app that lets you manage your policy anytime, anywhere. Which means that Geico is always there for you. If only everyone was always there for you. Like animal control.
And we'll end our practice by a period of meditation. So we just find a position that feels comfortable for us. Laying on our backs, feeling and becoming aware again of our whole bodies, from the top of our heads down to our feet. We breathe deep. We breathe deep, allowing our belly buttons to rise and fall. To put the world right in order, we must first put the nation in order. To put the nation in order, we must first put the family in order. To put the family in order, we must first cultivate our personal life. We must first set our hearts straight. Over time, I've come to see my asana practice as a sort of archaeological dig. As the years pass, I unearth layer after layer of habitual thinking that has caused me so much suffering. Most of it would not be considered pathological in a clinical sense. It is simply the typical thinking of my culture, the typical thinking of my class, gender, time, and space, and I have internalized all of it. As I slowly rehabilitate my physical self, peeling back layers of stiffness, muscular skeletal imbalance, scar tissue, and traumas, I am also encountering the stored memories of many lifetimes. The experience is akin to cleaning out your grandmother's attic and discovering amongst the trunks and boxes some clues to your family's behavior. There are many aspects to this unpacking process. Part of it for me is about confronting my own spiritual ignorance. My years on the mat have revealed to me, first, that I have suffered profoundly by allowing the flawed thinking of the world to define me. And second, that there has always been a part of me that has known better and wanted a more spiritual life. I think of that part of me as sanity, that part of me, that spiritual life that's in all of us and is already there. Yoga practice uncovers the part of ourselves that knows better and thereby sets our hearts right. I invite us to slowly roll onto our right sides, feeling and noticing our right sides. We'll slowly push ourselves up to a position where we're sitting. And let's continue to breathe deep, and let's say the mantra to ourselves 2 times. I am peace. I am love. I am light. I am peace. I am love. I am light. Let's bring our hands to our heart centers, knowing that we took care of ourselves, that we came back to our peace in this unsettled time, knowing we can always come back to this peace. It's maybe coming to our mat each morning or saying mantras in our heads each day, throughout the day, whatever it is, putting our fingers in our ear and buzzing, whatever it is that brings us back to our peace. Let's honor ourselves, each other, and our practice. May all beings everywhere be happy and free. Namaste. I hope everyone has a